Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lena Stanley, and I have created this lesson plan for Dr. Kingsley's MSET 365 class. This lesson plan is titled Banned and Challenged Books. The Banned and Challenged Books lesson plan was designed for upper-level high school students in 11th and 12th grade. It focuses mainly in English language arts, but also ties in nicely with social sciences. The entire project will take place over the course of 2 weeks, with this lesson being the introduction to the topic. Why this lesson? As I continue my college education, one topic that seems to be thrown my way repeatedly is the consistent censorship of literature and other forms of art. I feel that this censorship is important and should be acknowledged and considered. By turning these ideas into a lesson plan, I have created a way to open up lines of communication with high school students and the texts they encounter, while incorporating important works of literature from our history. This lesson addresses 3 literacy core standards regarding integrating varying sources of information to address a question, evaluating various explanations for actions or events in accordance with textual evidence, as well as forming and writing an argument. The essential question of this lesson is, why do books get banned or challenged? What are the consequences of this, be they social, political, etc.? This question is designed to get students to think about the content of books and how that can affect society or life around them. I created some guiding questions to ease students into the larger picture of the essential question. They are, why did the book you chose get banned? Do you think banning books is a positive or a negative thing, and why? Are there any cases where censorship is necessary and appropriate? If you were a teacher or librarian, what would the circumstances for censorship be? Upon finishing the lesson, the students will have gained some understanding of the prevalence of controversial topics, reasons why books get challenged or banned, the meaning of intellectual freedom, and the relationship between society and the classroom. Prior to this, the class will not have discussed the issues of book or media censorship. However, these upper-level students will be expected to have a general knowledge of literature and context. This project will occur over Banned Books Week and will be a segue into discussing censorship and its context racially, politically, and socially within literature. This lesson will be the opening lesson to the 2-week project. The students will also have some prior knowledge of Web 2.0 tools. The instructional objectives are as follows. Students will be able to examine and evaluate different outcomes of censorship in schools as well as society as a whole. Though they will be introduced to the topic by their instructor, students will be largely independent in choosing and reading a banned or challenged book, researching it, and putting together their presentation and written essay. Students will be able to explain their understanding of why books get banned or challenged within their paper, as well as explain their research findings to the class via their presentation. Lastly, students will display an understanding of argumentative writing by arguing for or against book censorship and discussing the relationship between censorship, school, and society. For this lesson, students will be provided with an article written by Alyssa D. Nicolini, which can be used as a source of information for their research. They will also receive a list of banned books as well as the project sheet, which outlines the requirements to complete the project and the rubrics for the paper and presentation. In order to incorporate technology, students will be shown videos surrounding the topic of banned books as well as a PowerPoint about banned books. The videos will include readouts and general information. Students will also be required to use technology to complete their presentation. They will use Web 2.0 tools such as FlipSnack, Prezi, or other presentation tools. To start the lesson, students will be asked questions like, what do you know about book censorship? And why do you think books get banned? I ask these questions so that I can evaluate what the students may know about book censorship. We will briefly discuss examples of banned or challenged books that the students come up with as a class, as well as possible reasons why they got banned. As a class, we will then watch a PowerPoint and videos about book censorship. The students will then be given the Nicolini article and asked to read it over for about 30 minutes. Students will then get into groups of 4 or 5 and will discuss the following questions for about 15 minutes. The questions are, do you think banned books have a place in the classroom? Why or why not? Do you think banned books have a place in society? If so, where, and why or why not? After this 15 minutes is up, we will regroup as a whole class and discuss their thoughts for another 15 minutes. To close the class, students will be given the banned books list, the project sheet that details how to complete the project, and the rubrics for both the paper and the presentation. Students will pick a banned or challenged book and read it in entirety. They will then conduct research on the book to find out why or where it was banned or challenged, and will then complete a paper and presentation. Students will show their knowledge of the topic of book censorship in 2 ways. First, they will research the practice of banning and challenging books and write a 4 to 5 page paper that answers the essential questions and guiding questions. This paper should show ample research done by the students while also clearly arguing either for or against book censorship. After completing their paper, students will put together a presentation on their book of choice. This presentation will include information about their book in the form of research they have conducted. It will also inform the class as to why that specific book was banned or challenged. In order to grade fairly, students' papers will be graded using a rubric. To receive a good grade, students' papers must be logistically organized, written clearly, and have a strong argument which they support with research. Similarly, the presentation will be graded with a rubric as well. In order to receive a good grade for this, students' presentations should be easy to understand and concise while still being informative. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you have any questions about this lesson plan, please feel free to ask.